Hello and welcome to this week's segment of ABL's Top Plays. Starting us off at number 5, in White Lotus vs No Fear, Predemity teams up with his jungler to look for an engage on the White Lotus bot lane. However, some great kiting allows White Lotus to not only survive, but turn the 2v4 around.
Forward, throws out the Q. Here comes the Nocturne though, going in for the Paranoia, trying to do a little bit more damage. He does get rooted up, and there's the turnaround kill, the Arcane Barrage. Loki Dosi is able to get this kill. The 2v2 is going extremely well at F-Road. Able to get another kill with the trap. Gonna go for some auto attacks. Mucho Gosu running away. Here comes Jock, gonna get a nice rocketed auto attack. There's the Sheep proc.
Next up at number 4, Dynasty eSports sees an opportunity to engage, and Dorhan jumps in with a 3-man Cataclysm. However, there is not enough DPS to follow up, and First Blood starts to turn things around. That is until Bishop and Rat join forces to kite back and turn the fight back in their favor.
That's a great kill from Bishop to stop the ace in the hole. Mike gets taken down. Tibbs comes in. He finds the shutdown. What can they find onto Bishop? Because Rat is here. It's a 2v2 in the rivers. That's the Hextech ultimatum onto Bishop. Bishop, they find the outplay. They find the kill. DTS will be able to find more, but the True Shot Barrage will find the shutdown, and it's gonna be the ace.
And at number 3, First Blood are defending their turrets from Shelly when they find members of Polar Race caught out in the jungle. They collapse, but when Tibbs joins the fight, they realize they may have bit off a little more than they could chew, and Polar Race walks away with a 4-for-1.
Be able to pick up Purpose, but not before going down to Tibbs. In fact, Tibbs now launching forward. He's going to get rooted by Karma, but now Gaudier launches backward. The Polymorph comes through. Knock up, barely not going to miss as Mike is able to pick out Ozzy in his backline. You see Gaudier goes down for a double kill for Tibbs. Tibbs flashes forward to get the 3rd Q on the top of Jax. Now we see a little bit of damage. Not quite. The burn comes through. Mike and everyone trying to chase forward. They go for the launch forward on Rampage with B-Tang there. B-Tang gonna be picking up the kill.
Coming in at number 2, Recon 5 are knocking at the door of Grim Legion space when Moody is able to find a well-placed Gragas ultimate onto Ikea. Sandillion doesn't miss a beat, jumping in on Yasuo and securing the Quadra kill, leading his team to victory.
Down, looking for some more PvPs coming out. It's coming through, coming in. Rudy's coming back. He's gonna find the barrel. Looking for Hands of Blood there. He's gonna go through the stopwatch. He's gonna get himself alive. Double killing for Sandillion. Sandillion's still alive. They can't stop this man. A Quadra kill. He's gonna find the ace. They're gonna find the end of this game, and that's gonna be exactly what Recon 5 was looking for.
And finally at number 1, First Blood have their backs against the wall and look to make a comeback play into Polar Ace's Ozzy and Jack. However, they cannot keep up with the kite and are led straight into the waiting arms of Tibbs, who picks up a stylish pentakill.
Big heal. Now looking to turn around. We do see final traffic come out as Mike is in this back line. Looking to see that's going to come out. Now Tibbs is in the battle. Going to be able to pick up a kill on Vladimir. He's in the middle of pressing guard. Flashes past and looks back on Reva to get the double kill. Now goes deep onto Ozzy for the burn to burn through. Triple kill now as he turns to Gaudier for the Quadra. It's going to happen. Jack is going to go down for the pentakill on to Tibbs.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of ABL Top Plays. We'll see you next week as we track the league's biggest plays around Summoner's Rift.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Week 7, the final week of regular season of ABL Season 7 as No Fear eSports take on Grim Legion eSports. I'm your play-by-play caster, Milky Cereal, and joining me as my color is Nalina. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. It's my first cast, so I'm really excited, especially a game like this where there's a lot of playoff implications.
Yeah, currently No Fear eSports sitting in 6th position while Grim Legion eSports sitting in 7th. But both of these, if Grim Legion are able to win, they will tie up the points with No Fear. And they actually have a game in hand as well, so they really need to win this. Currently sitting 0 wins and 8 losses in terms of games, so they really need to turn their fortunes around.
Luckily, the Grim Legion is playing probably the 2 weakest teams remaining in No Fear and Polar Ace, so this is a great chance for them to turn it around. I don't think they've looked bad in some of the games that they've played. They just need to find their identity and look to turn it around and get that playoff spot, and anything can happen in a best of 5.
And we have made our way into Pro Drafts, and we're already seeing the Pantheon being banned away from Grim Legion as our first ban of the day.
That's interesting. Pantheon? Huh.
Is Tilia Pantheon back in the meta?
Huh. Maybe. I guess maybe Grim Legion just has some special Pantheon comp that No Fear knows, but that's a strange ban, and I wonder if they didn't want to really plan for it. I guess it is a weird pick if it's Tilia Pantheon that's kind of hard to prepare for. So I guess they're just going to remove kind of the risk factor from those picks.
I should be asking you about this because you're the coach for Recon 5. So when you had to face against No Fear and Grim Legion, do you remember if there was anything that particularly stood out to you that you were somewhat
did
scared
know
of?
Mujo played a lot of Zyra and Reten played a lot of Azir. Now, Reten looks like he's playing AD carry today, so that's a little different. I did remember a lot that they had Morgana bot lane that I looked towards No Fear, so it was quite interesting. They had a lot of like these kind of one-trick champions that they were really proficient on that they could work with that I kind of wanted to remove from them, and that's what Grim Legions started to look to do with the Zyra and the Morgana. For Grim Legion, they kind of played standard. Their top laner was probably the biggest mystery because his champion pool was mostly sometimes pushers, but he had some odd picks like Yorick, stuff like that. The rest of them tried to play very standard, I remember that, so it was kind of easier to prepare for Grim Legion, I think, than No Fear.
Okay, and just to clarify, No Fear eSports have had to pull in an emergency sub, so they will be losing both bans in Phase 2 in Game 1 and Game 2. So these are the only 3 bans that they're going to be getting.
Yeah, and that could be very impactful, especially towards some potential blind picks that Grim Legion's going to have in that 4th rotation. Caitlyn and Morgana banned. Wow. So they don't want they're really afraid of both of that. Silas is up, Yumi is up. There's a lot of contested picks. Zyra Khan is still up.
And
so
Aatrox as well.
Yeah, the Aatrox as well. So Silas, something very flexible into 3 different positions. I actually like it. It's very, very strong, and even if you don't get a good lane for it, if you have to invest 2 counters into it, you can just put the Silas in the jungle and it'll be just fine.
And there's the Ezreal getting picked up, and you have to think that maybe there'll be a Yumi getting paired with as...
Really?
It's going to be an Alistair, though, as Tristana. Now, is that going to be an ADC Tristana, or are we seeing a mid/top lane Tristana?
No, it's flexible. We've seen it in 3 lanes. Top, mid, and AD carry. So this is like a perfect pick again to just kind of like say, you don't know what our draft is gonna be. We could flex Silas towards top and mid. We can flex the Tristana to 3 lanes. Where it's gonna be hard to kind of get counter picks for all these different flexes. So it's gonna be kind of weird for Grim Legion to draft around. Tom Kench, good answer to Alistair. I like it.
Yeah. And I know Tom Kench has been changed, and some people were telling me Tom Kench is no longer a champion now in the top lane. So is Tom Kench back in that support role 100% now?
Probably, and he's still a great support. Having basically a free stasis every 20 seconds is a humongous team fight power, especially against champions like Alistar, things that need to kind of just go in and CC that carry, or else they're kind of not a very good champion in general. Nunu, interesting.
Oh, you have
Wow,
to
yes. We're seeing some really interesting picks, some new picks that are coming out, and all the priority picks have kind of just gone down the wayside here. Oh, okay, so
no, that's one of the no bans.
yeah, okay. So they're gonna ban Azir from Re 10. He is playing 80 carry. I don't know if they played Azir bot lane, but I guess that could be a possibility in this scenario.
And I mean, I really like this Nunu pick. It's one of the champions that I kind of like, but something you don't see that often, especially in the ABL, as the LeBlanc also going to get banned away.
Here's the issue that I'm seeing though, is they picked two big front lines and they picked then Ezreal, who's he does quite a bit of damage, but he doesn't do like the tank damage that you might need. Usually when you pick these kind of beefy champions, you want some hyper carry to kind of carry it. And there we go, the Corki. So they're gonna take the Corki now to try to give some sustained damage for the team comp. And now they have these two beefy front lines with two backline AD carries basically that could play very safe. And right now, No Fear really doesn't have very reliable engage to get onto these carries, especially against Nunu and Alistar. So they have a choice between going for a 1-3-1 to try to maybe avoid team fights, avoid kind of the carries, which Jinx might be okay with.
And
I think Sivir would have been better to try to just disengage from the Alistar and Nunu, so that maybe you can then have Tristana and Sylas solo laning. I guess Jinx just want the lane power, and yeah, they're just gonna focus on maybe trying to win the lanes instead of, oh, never mind.
I mean, we say try to win the lanes, but the Kassadin being hovered, and what does this mean? It means it's a Tristana top lane coming through from No Fear. But I want to go back to what you were mentioning about the Sivir, because one of the things that I myself particularly notice is Sivir can't really... The spell shield doesn't work into the Alistar because it can only spell shield the headbutt or the pulverize, but not both of them.
That is true, but you do have Tahm Kench, and that's why I'm kind of worried. Especially also you have Ezreal, that isn't really the biggest follow-up in that 2v2 matchup. I think Sivir could have given a lot of pushing power against Ezreal Alistar. It's really hard to just threaten it unless you get maybe a gajillion Nunu ganks, but even then you have to deal with Tahm Kench at the same time. As we see Renekton to counter Tristana. I think Renekton can die level 3 against Tristana if Tristana takes Ignite, so... I mean, it's kind of hard to play around Tristana in general. I guess after level 6, you're pretty strong, but it could be a hard matchup, honestly. Yeah, Tristana all to kind of just zone off the Renekton when he goes in. So it's gonna be a hard 1v1. I think No Fear has a very viable 1-3-1 comp. They have TK to kind of help the split pushers if they ever get collapsed on. They really have no way to lock down Kassadin in the mid to late game, and Tristana. Actually, even Tristana is going to be hard to contest with. I don't think Renekton and Nunu really could do anything. So realistically, Grim Legion is going to want to get more team fights. They have really strong front line with two backliners. They need to be able to force these team fights, get onto the objectives first. That's going to be the most important thing, so that the No Fear has to try to run into them, into the Baron, and they can't then set up that 1-3-1 or some sort of split push scenario.
Yeah, and from No Fear, you've got the Tristana, you've got the Jinx, both of these late game hyper carries. You've got the Kassadin, also strong in the late game. Is the No Fear game plan just going to be, we're going to sit back, we're going to play it safe, we're not going to engage, and we're going to wait until 30-35 minutes, and then we're going to turn up the heat?
That could be okay, but they do have 3 winning lanes. I think Tristana can beat Renekton. I think Kassadin definitely is a good lane matchup into Corki, without jungle pressure, of course. I think Jinx and Tahm Kench is pretty safe and can push into Ezreal Alistar. It's just really gonna be... I think their game plan is going to be, if they can win the early game, they're going to take it and try to snowball it as much as possible, because I think they have the comp to snowball if they do. If they don't, they have an option that they can look to scale back with Sylas, with Tristana, with Jinx, and Kassadin, of course, level 16. Those are huge power spikes, so especially Nunu, right? He's kind of a volatile jungler that can get a lot of ganks going and get a lot of kills for his team. If that does end up happening, they're gonna have to then play a little more passive and then look to scale. It's kind of hard though for Nunu to gank this game. You have TK to kind of save Jinx. Kassadin Q actually stops the channel of Nunu W.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's a Kassadin. I'm pretty sure Q still breaks channels, and I think Nunu is considered a channel ability. So, and obviously Kassadin has level 6 Void Walk anyways. So it's not going to be the easiest game for Nunu. It's going to be really interesting to see how Hands of Blood plays this.
Yeah, and of course, Ricari on that Tristana is going to have the rocket jump, but in the bot lane, sure, you've got the Devour from the Tahm Kench, but Tahm Kench goes so slowly once he's devoured an ally that
That's true.
surely they can just wait until he comes out and Alistair can get the headbutt pulverize off as soon as Nasuna comes out of that Devour.
That is true. But the only thing I'm worried about is obviously the Ezreal follow-up damage. I'm not sure it'll be enough to go through TK and his shield. I wonder if TK also maybe could potentially be thinking about going like a either ignite with cleanse or like cleanse with like spellbook. Spellbook could be pretty good this game. If they want to split push, they could TP down or take exhausts, deal with maybe the Nunu engage, things like that.
Yeah, and could we also see perhaps a glacial augment coming through from the Tahm, or is that a bit too spicy?
Glacial augment, I think it'd be quite tough. I don't think they're gonna really want to be in melee range anyways, so most likely they just want to keep the carry safe. He's gonna be next to the carries all the time, so he's gonna probably want something along the lines of a guardian or spellbook this game.
We'll have to see how that all develops, because this is going to be a very, very exciting game. We have entered the spectator delay, so we can get confirmation of all of the summoner spells that have been taken. As predicted, Ricari going for that ignite, that aggression on the Tristana, while Renekton going for the TP, not as aggressive. Both TPs coming in from the mid laners, and in the bot lane, we're seeing a standard flash yellow, flash ignite.
Yeah, so I'm really we really gotta look at this top lane, because Tristana damage is gonna catch you by surprise, and I hope that 12-inch is going to. If he's not, he's going to get killed very quickly.
And of course, Grim Legion. Again, I'm going to bring it up. I mean, they're currently sitting 0-8, but it's so much to play for. They're playing against No Fear now, who are sitting in 6th. They've got one game in hand, which is against Polar Ace, who are in 8th. If there's any time to turn it on, it's now. And against the Tristana top, against the Kassadin, against a team that has to wait until the late game, they can pull out all the stops in this early game to try to just end this as quickly as possible.
They have the initiative. Especially the early game. They do have the initiative towards making plays. The Alistar can look for roams. We have obviously the Nunu ganks that could potentially go. And Silas isn't really gonna turn on until level 6. So most likely he's gonna be farming early. So if this is one game to turn it around, it's gonna be this game, and it's gonna be on their hands. If they play well, they are going to win this game. So it's gonna be exciting to see.
And of course, you mentioned Silas, and he won't be online until he's level 6. Hijack. Whenever we see a Silas, I guess we kind of have to look at the opposite team and think, you know, what kind of ults does he want his hands on? The missile barrage from Corki isn't going to be that useful, but the true shot barrage will.
Yeah, Ezreal ult's pretty good. They're not really big, obviously, kind of big team fight changers, except for obviously Nunu ult. If he can get into a good position, most likely he's gonna try to steal Ezreal ult and maybe miss a barrage just for the poke when they try to 1-3-1 split push. Maybe with the 3 of them, they could look to poke it out a little bit with the Jinx and Silas. Other than that, probably take Alistar ult to just try to escape and run if they need to. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, a lot to look out for. No Fear eSports going with the late game. Grim Legion with the early game. Who will win? We'll find out after a short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game 1 of 3 between No Fear Esports and Grim Legion Esports. If you haven't already, do subscribe to us on Twitch. All the proceeds from your subscriptions go towards making this production even better, so you get to enjoy the cast again. You can also get points for subscribing, tipping, and hosting. And at the end of the season, whoever has most points will get $10 on their PayPal. So do that as well. But it looks like we're going to be getting an invade straight away, Nalina.
Yes, this is actually pretty good, and for some reason, No Fear is just sent no one to the bot tri-brush, so this is gonna be... Oh, but that ward though, I think that was a very badly timed ward. If they saw somebody, they could have maybe flash pulverized immediately and tried to respond, but that revealed their position, unfortunately they have to back off.
Yeah.
No Fear is not trying to get wards on the other side though. I think that's a little questionable as well. You know, just saw 5, you know, you probably just saw 3 or 4 members, so...
And, I mean, obviously they did give away with their position, but they will on where Jazzy will be on that side. But it looks like both junglers are going to be starting on their bot side camps.
Ooh, I wonder if we're gonna see a level 2 gank then from Nunu after the blue buff. That is probably the best time to get a gank off because Tom Kent is probably not gonna have eat, so... We're gonna see. That's what Nunu does. Or Hands of Blood.
We'll have to see if that gets picked up, but Ricari looking to get the damage straight away onto 12-inch. He's going to get that explosive bomb off, but now 12-inch will be looking to turn this around. Pressy attack has been propped in. It'll be a fairly even trade.
Yeah, I think he made a little bit of mistake trying to get melee range. Uh-oh.
Oh, the ignites come through. Flash is available from Ricari. Will he go for more? No. 12-inch will get taken down fairly low.
That kind of feels bad. Because she really wanted to get the level 3 kill, unfortunately, or the level 2 kill with when his W comes up. So it's quite unfortunate to have to use the ignite. That probably does mean he's going to get the lane advantage, but Renekton can TP back. So now this is going to be an interesting lane. I don't know if this is going to be Tristana favored early yet. So we're just going to probably see a farm lane to stop.
Yeah, but yeah, as you mentioned, that TP getting burned. So there is both top lanes just have the flash available, so summoner wise everything has been evened out. As in the bot lane, just going to see some trading as Muchu goes, who did hit that level 2 before Grim Legion, but they weren't able to get off enough damage. That Tom Kent's level 2 isn't a massive spike.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing both junglers kind of take a full clear path, and they're probably going to meet on this top side, which I think favors No Fear, because I think they're going to be able to get lane priority, especially towards top lane with Tristana, which probably means that the Silas is going to get an early advantage, and so we'll see what happens here.
We'll have to wait and see, as Hands of Blood on that Nunu, of course, so easy to gank with the biggest ever snowball. And looks like he might be going for something here in the top lane. The CC will come through from 12-inch. Ricari will be able to dash away. In comes Jazzy. Can he get it off the damage? That's first blood going over. In comes another rocket jump, and it's going to be a double kill going over to Jazzy and No Fear Esports.
Yeah, I think that was a very poorly timed gank. It's sort of hard to gank Tristana, like we said, with the rocket jump, being able to escape. And we're seeing a mid lane gank here, almost going to get the Corki. But yeah, it's just so hard to get the Tristana, and it makes the Nunu's life really hard. So I'm not sure if he needed to fix maybe his early pathing more towards going bot lane, like I said. But that did not go well.
Jazzy got so low, but the Kingslayer coming through in the end, just giving that HP and buying enough time for that first blood to come in. But here we go, the flash pulverize coming in, headbutt backwards into the snowball. That's a big combo. Goes through using up that black shield, but there's going to be nothing he can do. Actually, he's going to flash over the wall. He's staying alive for so long. This is massive. But Jazzy is here now, and Sleepy Bulbasaur will get off a pulverize. He'll get off the headbutt as well. That's some CC coming in. No sooner taking a bit of damage, in comes the zap, but it's not going to be enough as a flash comes through from Hands of Blood. Going to be 1 kill for 1 in this bot lane.
This is probably one of the worst case scenario. Because right now, we have a Silas, and we're gonna see a replay of this. This is a really good setup, but I think the worry that
Oh, the flash forward from Rakeri. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the CC comes through under turret. And somehow 12-inch finds the outplay and the kick.
Nice kill onto the Tristana. That's very impressive that you're able to get, and we're almost gonna see a Silas kill here.
Let's see if Silas can pick anything up. Jazzy getting solo will get taken down. The kill going over onto Sleepy Bulbasaur. Re10 will use a blast cone to get away from Rhynek. It will be able to back off. Currently 4 kills to 3 in favor of Grim Legion. Mucho Gosu is sitting on a ward, so he's not going to be able to get off any cheeky gank in that mid lane.
Never mind what I said. I was about to say this is probably the worst case scenario for Grim Legion because
Rakeri with the rocket jump into the top lane. Level 6 gets burned by 12-inch Rakeri. Can he stay away? In comes the Lifesteal. Rakeri gets taken down. 12-inch with the solo kill. And he's now sitting 2-1.
wow, he went in at level 5. That seems a little bit questionable by Rakeri. I think that was a little too aggressive. We're gonna see another play.
Here we go in the Abscon. Abduct will not be able to find his target. Kingslayer will, and Jazzy will pick up another kill.
Kill after kill after kill after kill. Wow, this is a very high action game. It's really exciting to see. I think we're kind of seeing maybe a lot of experience with some of the Tristana dying twice into a matchup that he probably should have pressure and probably should never die in. And obviously
we're getting the Hands of Blood just about escaping there. Jazzy didn't decide to go for the full commit, didn't have flash available. And so close as we hit the 7-minute mark. Cloud Drake is up on the Rift. And not going to be the biggest priority, Drake.
Probably not, but it is going to be probably very useful for No Fear if they can get it to escape, probably if they decide to split push it, as we see.
Oh, Jazzy's looking for that play onto 12-inch. 12-inch just able to dash out though, and I guess a bit of proxy farming might come in that top lane now.
That does zone off the Renekton though from the wave, and that is pretty big, especially since the Renekton is the one that just got fed, and now you just give Tristana 3 plates it looks like. That's a good way to come back. That's a kill and a half's worth, so this Tristana is just gonna get right back into the game thanks to Jazzy.
Now we we mentioned the fact that Renekton currently sitting 2-1 is fairly ahead finding those picks, but the CS advantage is on No Fear in all 3 of the lanes.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about in the pregame, right? Where they have 3 winning lanes, 3 lanes that can pressure out Grim Legion in all scenarios. As we see a dragon take from Nunu, very classic dragon steal, and I really like that from Hands of Blood.
You know, we mentioned that No Fear, they have this kind of laning advantage, but they've got a Kassadin, they've got a Tristana, as actually the Valkyrie will come forward from Rhynek, but won't be able to get anything off that. But as I was saying, you know, they have the winning lanes, but they also have the better late game. So is this just better drafting coming in from No Fear?
I will say the late game, I think, is a little even. I think they're just their strengths are just a little different, because I will say in a 5v5 it'll probably be very hard to just try to kill Corki and Ezreal in the back. And I think if they're in the back, able to just consistently bring out DPS, I think it's going to be quite troubling. And they have Nunu, Renekton, and Alistar to tank up the Jinx damage and the Tristana damage if need be. So in the late game, it's not like a game over. It just that the lanes or the 1v1s are going to be more in favor for No Fear. But if Grim Legions say maybe try to get a little bigger of an advantage, they can then set up on objectives first, in which they can look for a 5v5 team point.
Here comes Hands of Blood in the bot lane. The flash pulverize coming in from Sleepy Bubble, so they're not going to be able to find enough damage though. They might actually look to turn this around onto Hands of Blood, who is a little bit low. ASAP Jazzy is here. The stacks coming through onto Sleepy Bulbasaur. TP will get channeled. Sleepy Bulbasaur going to be able to stay alive for so long. Jazzy and Motu so low. Bulbasaur still alive. No sooner can't do anything at all. And it's a triple kill for 12-inch.
And there's the TP advantage from having Renekton, right? The Tristana wants to take Ignite for the lane, which leaves her without a TP to be able to respond, and that was a great play from 12-inch, as we're going to see a replay. I mean, I think early on, the issues came around where the ganks, they're not working because Ezreal just doesn't provide enough damage, but they did a great job baiting here, and baiting long enough for when the Recton comes to TP down. They just use all their CC to stop them from running, and then the Renekton's able to clean up. Perfectly done by Grim Legion.
So well played by Grim Legion. 8 kills to 4, and they have... However, the goal lead is only sitting at about 1k, so this game is still really tight.
Yeah, the advantages in the CS is really impactful, especially also the Tristana just got a first tower. This Tristana is going to be really strong in a side lane. I think Renekton right now can match with those 3 kills, but if he can't get the kill, it might be hard to save his towers if the Tristana starts to rotate over and over into these lanes.
Yeah, of course, Renekton now 5-1. Jazzy is here in the mid lane looking to get off some damage. However, the Abyssal Voyage will come through from Mochigosu. Forces back Grim Legion, as in the bot lane we're getting the trade. The heal comes through from No Sooner. Oh, that's a super mega death rocket, and that's the kill from No Sooner in the 1v2.
Oh, the Ezreal stepped on the Jinx trap. That was a perfect kill to get the Jinx. They just executed, and he might die for it. Oh, no. Yes, he is survive.
Will be able to stay alive as the True Shot Barrage won't find its target. Hands of Blood is in this bot lane. He is on a ward though, but he might be getting caught out now because he's getting trapped between Mochigosu, who is getting off the stacks. Will be able to pull off the Devour. Jazzy's here. He gets the CC flash over the wall as the Flame Chompers do come through, but it won't be able to find Hands of Blood, who will be able to escape. Now Ikaya in a bit of a sticky situation. In comes the Rift Wall. Ikaya very low, but he will be able to survive under the turret as the 4-man dive won't be fully committed upon.
I think they actually could have gone for it. They knew the Nunu got harassed out. They saw 2 members top. They know they don't have TP. They probably could have gone for the 4v2 dive, especially since Hands of Blood, I think he just kept his flash too long. If you just flashed early, you wouldn't lose that much HP and you could help bot lane. So this kind of shows the importance of flashing early to not take out so much harass damage.
As 310 TP's back into the mid lane. In comes a rocket jump in the top lane. Ricari looking to get off some damage onto 12-inch. He gets off the stacks and he will be able to rocket jump once again. 12-inch, can he turn this down? No, he can't. That's 800 shutdown goal going over onto Ricari now in the bot lane. We've got a trade coming in as Hands of Blood is here. He's going to be able to get off the ultimate. In comes Silas. He gets off the kill. Mochigosu will be able to survive. Rhynek with the TP, and can he turn this around? Valkyrie. Oh, the missile barrage just misses his target. Retet is now here. He's rotated down in from the mid lane. Kingslayer comes in. So much damage. Sleepy Bulbasaur will die. Jesse flashes out to keep himself alive. Retet gets solo. The Devour comes in. It keeps him alive. Muchu falls. The flash coming forward from Rhynek. It keeps on going. Jazzy stays alive for so long. The shutdown coming in from Hands of Blood. Retet no sooner. So low. True Shot Barrage is available from Ikaya. It has just been popped. Can he find anyone with this pick? Is coming across the map. It's gonna find Retet, but it's not enough damage. Valkyrie forward. Retet so low. He'll be able to keep himself alive, and what an extended fight.
And there we see the potential that Grim Legion has in the team fights. As you can see in the 4v4, when the frontline is able to frontline for the Corki, he's just providing tremendous amount of damage in the back. It's going to basically be able to provide so much damage, as you can see in the replay here. I mean, they're having issues. They're trying to get this Tom Kench kill, but right now they're having humongous issues trying to kill him with this Ezreal pick, which I think needed to be something different if they wanted Alistair, and they were able to turn it around here. The Corki just staying behind the Nunu zoning off all the damage, and Corki just took over.
Just so much stuff going on in that fight. I can't even remember how many kills went over to either team, but I mean, at the end of all of this, it's 10 kills versus 8 in favor of Grim Legion. They are starting to eke out a little bit of a goal lead. It's still at 1,000, but they did get that Infernal Drake off, as in the mid lane. Can Jazzy find the CC? Yes, he can with the Kingslayer. Re10, can he find the damage? In comes the ultimate from Renekton, will be able to survive. Muchigosu with the Abyssal Voyage won't be able to get there in time, but 12-inch will be able to survive.
Yeah, right now, though, the issue is this Tristana. How are they going to deal with this Tristana? It looks like they're going to send the Corki down, but I'm not sure. He's just going in.
Ricari getting off the damage. He's able to get off his stacks. Rocket jump forward, rocket jump out. He will get taken down by the turret regardless, but it is a 1-for-1 in the top lane.
That is actually probably very scary now for Grim Legion. The Corki just died under tower. They did get a trade kill, which is huge, but they're going to have to find a way to solve this Tristana split push sometime soon, or this Tristana's going to take over and start killing tower after tower.
And Ricari now has the Blade of the Rune King, has the Berserker's Reaps, and crucially the Phantom Dancer as well. I mean, actually, we're going to have to hold that thought because Sleepy Bulbasaur coming in with the Flash Pulverize. The CC comes in, but Nosuna and Muchigosu will be able to stall it out for long enough to get to safety. 12-inch is here. He's going to be able to get the CC straight away onto Muchu, who gets absolutely deleted. Can he find any way through it? No, he can't. We might be seeing the dive now onto Nosuna. He's under turret, but it's 4v1. In comes the headbutt pulverized. True Shot Barrage will take him down so low. Ricari is here. Can he find the damage? Sleepy Bulbasaur will sacrifice his life. But that's going to give the reset onto Ricari, who's looking to chase Hands of Blood. But now Re10 and Jazzy with the Rift walk forward. They're looking to find the damage. Blue Smite comes in. Valkyrie comes in with the package. It's going to be 2 kills. Stopwatch buys a bit of time for Jazzy, but he will get taken down straight away. Ricari rocket jumps in, but he rocket jumps into his death. He's able to find 1 kill, but it will still be a triple kill going over to Reinek on the Corki.
My lord, this Corki is so fed now. He just got a triple kill. He's up 2.8k gold on the Kassadin. My gosh, this Corki can take over fights. If they can just set up on objectives and get the front line, this Corki is going to take over every single fight. They're just, No Fear is just taking a lot of these 4v4s and 5v5s, and they're getting caught a lot towards the bot side and over-rotating. I really think it would have been just better for No Fear to just start pressuring the lanes. Don't focus on just over-rotating. That's not what your comp really wants. You want the Tristana to be hitting towers in a side lane. You want the Kassadin to be split pushing, you know, getting the pressure and getting levels. But they're just over-rotating for these fights, and it's costing them time after time after time.
Yeah, and we've been talking about, you know, how close the gold has been between No Fear and Grim Legion, but now it's almost a 4k gold advantage for Grim Legion. You mentioned how, you know, they keep going for these 4v4s, and No Fear, you know, you mentioned that No Fear, they want to have these skirmishes, but Grim Legion keep turning them into these 4v4, 5v5 fights where they have had the advantage.
Yeah. Tristana split pushing now, providing pressure, especially with Rift Herald being the contention. I think it's not something that No Fear can really contest if Grim Legion just start it. I think they're just going to try to give Tristana... No, the Tristana's actually just going to rotate over.
Oh, Re10 taking a lot of poke in this top lane. Has to be careful of a True Shot Barrage here. Is available for Ikaya, as the Rift Herald has been started. But we're going to see a Abyssal Voyage into the top lane. Ikaya is far enough away to be able to escape. Rift Herald will get secured by Grim Legion, as No Fear looking to turn and potentially find an engage, but nothing's going to come through. As Ricari in a bit of a sticky situation now, going to get chased by 12-inch, will be able to survive. The ultimate comes in from 12-inch. He flashes over the wall to match the Rift Walk. In comes True Shot Barrage. Whoa. That's a good devour from Muchigosu to buy a little bit of time. Currently, No Fear hiding under their top lane turret. It's going to be a 5v5 in this top lane. That's a lot of damage onto Re10, but he's going to be able to survive. Ikaya looking just to get that poke off outside of a turret. And it looks like for now, Grim Legion are going to back off and potentially just spawn this Rift Herald in the mid lane.
I'm actually curious. I think they actually should have gone for that. They had Alistar ultimate. I know Renekton ultimate was going down, but with Nunu tanking, okay, we're not going to see anything there, but Yeah, I think it's... Oh, they're just gonna rotate mid. I do like this, though, rotation. They're 5-man grouping. They're forcing No Fear to answer as a 5-man, which is just going to keep favoring them when this Kirky and Ezreal is scaled up.
In comes the damage. Shelly getting the turret down low enough, and the turret won't fall just yet, but it gets off a lot of damage. And Grim Legion will back off for now. There is a Mountain Drake on the Rift, and they're going to be looking to secure this.
And now we're seeing kind of the impact that losing their early game has had for No Fear. They had 3 winning lanes, and after all these fights now, they've lost the advantage, which is causing the teamfight team to be able to set up on objectives and take every single one of them, because that's what their comp is made to do. They're made to 5v5 and just take objectives. So now this is getting snowballed more and more in favor of Grim Legion.
12-inch taking a lot of damage in the bot lane, and the rocket jump will be reset. TP coming in though. However, No Suna and Mucho are nearby. The package is available for Reinek. He's gonna have to back off. The rocket jumps comes forward, but he comes onto the package. Reinek taking a lot of the damage. Devour will buy a bit of time. It's a 1-for-1 so far. No Suna going to not get hit by the snowball, but 12-inch will be able to get off the damage anyway. Rift walk from Re10 won't be enough. He'll still get hit by the absolute zero, and he'll get taken down. It's a 4-for-1 in favor of Grim Legion.
Ouch, I thought that was looking very good for No Fear. They almost was able to kill the Corki, but it's just... Oh, here we go. V1.
1v1 in the bot lane. Jazzy taking some damage. Can he find the outplay? Yes, he can. He'll pick up the kill, but this has just bought enough time as Grim Legion have started the Baron. And it's down to 6,000 HP already. As you mentioned, that Infernal has been picked off. Jazzy doesn't even have a true shot barrage to try to contend with this. And there is no way for No Fear to contest as the Baron is secured.
Oh, just even missing the kill. Well done. Getting an advantage for Silas, the jungler, rotating over to the bot lane to deal with their Renekton. Easy Baron take there. They had full vision control. And it's just a really smart play. And now with this Baron, they're just going to be able to force even a bigger issue. And most importantly, the Tristana's going to have a hard time split pushing now into these Baron minions.
And a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned, Nolina, that Grim Legion, they need to, what am I saying? That No Fear, they need to, play to their win conditions, which is split pushing the side lanes, use that Tristana. But now with Baron buff on 4 members of Grim Legion, surely they have to respect this 5-man push in the mid lane, or 4-man push in the mid lane.
They're probably going to have to. And that's kind of sometimes the bane of picking a 1-3-1 comp. Most of the time, like when G2 plays it, it relies on them getting an early advantage, or else this is going to happen where the 5-man team can just force whatever they want. And the biggest issue that No Fear is going to have is the initiation. Where is it going to come from? How are they going to get on top of them? Because Corki and Ezreal is just going to provide tremendous amount of damage, and I don't know how they're going to give it to them.
True-shot barrage will buy a bit of time in the mid lane and will be able to clear the Baron minions. But that turret, the inhibitor turret, already taken down to a 3rd HP. In the bot lane, Ricari could potentially look for the engage onto 12-inch, but he's not going to go for it just yet. As Grim Legion decide they want another shot at this inhibitor turret, and then they go with their 2nd Baron wave.
Basically saying, how are you going to get through this Nunu? How are you going to get through this Alistar? Can you stop this? Nope, they're just getting poked down instead.
Okay. Will get taken. 2-shot barrage gets fired, pokes down the members of No Fear fairly low. The inhibitor will be started, and No Fear just going to relinquish the inhibitor. There's nothing that they can do so far. Re10 playing really aggressive, forced to Rift walk backwards. No true shot barrage available, but the missile barrage is good. Devour though from Mucho to be able to save his mid laner. The bot lane in the turret has fallen, and Grim Legion start on another inhibitor turret.
Yep, they're still full health. They still have Baron. They're using it very well. Just biding their time, hitting towers into the Triforce and rapid fire procs, and slowly and surely this tower's gonna go down. And again, the issue is, like, if No Fear really wants to stop this, they need to go in, but how do they go in? You have to go through Nunu, and Nunu's just gonna ult immediately if Silas tries to just E in, so it's just really tough. They're just gonna have to wait for this Baron out and probably the inhibs to come back up.
Yeah, as in the mid lane, Ricari just trying to deal with Hands of Blood and just clearing that wave, but this inhibitor turret is falling really quickly. No Fear will back off. They're going to relinquish the second inhibitor as well. Can they potentially find a fight? Ricari drops down the explosive bomb, but he won't fully commit with the rocket jump. Minions are starting to make their way to the Nexus turrets, as Grim Legion will head over to their second Infernal Drake and their fourth Drake of the game.
Yeah, man, Infernal Drakes is gonna... Oh man, that might just be the final nail in the coffin. With Corki having 8 kills, Ezreal is fully stacked up. He's not even that far behind. And it's just gonna be a really hard game. They're gonna... No Fear's gonna have to do something creative. They're gonna have to try to get some flank with Silas Kassadin. Maybe take... I don't know, Nunu and try to just find like a flash Nunu engage for the team to just them follow up. It's probably their best bet. It's just kind of hard to find answers for them currently because they really relied on the split push, and with 2 inhibs down, what are they gonna do? They can't really create pressure anymore. You just have to try to defend this somehow with just pure mechanical skill, I think.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, there's going to be another Baron on the Rift in just over 1.5 minutes as members of Grim Legion pushing in the top lane. That's the only lane with any turrets still standing, but here we go. No Fear have possibly found a fight. Sleepy Bulbasaur will fall. In comes the biggest ever snowball. No Sooner has fallen. It's 3 for 1, and Grim Legion find the fight again. Ricari is in the bot lane pushing, but is not going to do much as the inner turret will fall in the top lane. And Grim Legion will keep on pushing. Yeah, it's a 4v2. They could potentially go for this. Sleepy Bulbasaur will be up in 10 seconds as in comes the engage. Jazzy looking to find some damage, gets poked down really low. One mortar will do it. The flash forward from Rhynex secures it. Make this a 4v1 now. Ricari looking to find some damage. Ikai able to stay alive for long. What can Ricari do? He is the only man standing. Actually, Nosuna and Mucho are up, and Grim Legion will have to wait for another opportunity to finish the game off.
I think that was a little bit questionable by Grim Legion not just ending through mid. They had the supers, it was a 4v2, they don't have immediate wave clear, it's just Silas and Tristana. They could just probably frontline with Nunu and probably just take it for free. But it's okay, you know, they're not in a big threat. It's not like No Fear has any answers right now, and especially since the last, let's say, 10 minutes or so, it's just been all Grim Legion right now, and so I feel like they're probably feeling super confident that they can win this game.
Playing it nice and slow, not taking any risk. Grim Legion have 3 inhibitors down. Oh, sorry, they have taken 3 inhibitors. The Baron is up, and they can now go for this. And can No Fear really contest? Oh, as actually, we're going to have to hold that thought because we're going to engage Sleepy Bulbasaur looking to find the CC. True Shot Barrage will clip no sooner. In comes biggest ever Snowball. Will find the CC onto the Jinx. That is massive. Jazzy trying to back out. TP coming in from Re10. Can he do anything? Jazzy gets taken down. It's 2 for nothing. 12-inch coming through, finds a CC. He's gonna burn through that Tomken shield. Rhynex getting taken down a little low. Re10 will fall to Ikaya. Grim Legion haven't won a single game, but they turn it around when it matters. They pick up their first win of Season 7, and they pick up their first win against No Fear.
And even though it was quite close in the other game, I thought it was very convincing towards the mid to late game. I think they played their comp much better, getting these 4v4s, setting up the Corki in the back, just free hitting onto the team. And I think for No Fear, I don't think their draft was bad. I think their idea was really good. I like their picks. I just don't. They over-rotated. They didn't play their draft optimally, and I think it really costed them in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start with an analysis for this, because it felt like every time No Fear, they kind of thought, okay, we can find a pick here. Okay, this is a good position for us to find a fight. Grim Legion were just so quick on the rotation and turning it into a massive team fight. And always, you know, just by the skin of their teeth, almost it seems, coming out on top so many times. Sleepy Bulbasaur must have been in, you know, double-digit HP. And it could have, I feel like it was a massive seesaw game, but it just tilted. I feel like as soon as Grim Legion found one kind of fight, it just ended up snowballing into their favor.
Yeah, especially when it's the Corki, the biggest carry, and probably the one of the best picks in the game, especially towards the mid lane right now. Just being able to provide that constant DPS and just a few kills turns into a Triforce and some crits and starts really destroying the team. I think he did almost 30k damage, 29k damage in that team. I think No Fear, their entire squad, their highest is only up to 19, so 10,000 more damage than any of No Fear's damage. I feel like No Fear just really needed to stop over rotating. They knew that, you know, they can rotate with package. They have a TP disadvantage. I think there was one time, right, where they lost the fight bot, but the Tristana was able to get a free tower top, so that was able to keep their goal lead and keep a kind of like a 1v1 advantage that they had. And so we'll see what adjustments they decide to make. Maybe if they feel like they want to play more of a team fight, especially it looks like that's what they kind of shot call for. Maybe that's kind of the direction that they might look towards. Especially like, you know, they have players that can do well in those. I know Riton plays a good Azir, and you know Mucho has the Zyra. They could probably play a team fight, but I think this game it was a misexecution of their company.
Well, regardless of what one might think about how clean that game was, it was exciting to witness an absolute bloodbath at points. And that was only game one. We still have a potential 2 more matches to see between No Fear and Grim Legion. We're going to be heading into a break, but we'll be right back with game numero dos. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between No Fear Esports and Grim Legion Esports. Game 1 was a bit of a close affair. Grim Legion able to pick up the win at the end, and they were sitting in 7th place, and with that first win, they're looking ever closer to that playoff position. And as we make our way into picks, as we make our way into Pro Dog, we're seeing that Renekton being banned away out of respect, Nalina.
Yes, similar bans. They did ban Renekton this time. Obviously, he was a huge contributor with the TP plays and the team fights, providing the turnaround that Grim Legion needed in the early game, especially when their lanes were doing badly. So I can understand it. Corki obviously was a humongous issue that game when he got super fed. They had no way to get on top of it. I think those are... Oh, what? I'm guessing that's Corki.
Guessing that's
That is
Corki.
Urgot. Interesting.
Okay, so an Urgot ban coming through, and to be honest, I would like to see Grim Legion pick that Tristana again, because I think it was something that did work in the top lane, but I think maybe they just got a bit unlucky with playing towards that win condition.
Yeah, I think Tristana can work still. I like that. I think Rakir, he made some few mistakes in decision making, as we see a first pick Corki. Interesting. There are things that can counter it this time, though. Blinding it like this, we have, you can pick something maybe aggressive like a Yasuo Gragas. You can pick something, you could pick maybe a Nautilus support to kind of just give that initiation to get on top of him. You can maybe pick an Akali and then pick maybe an aggressive jungler. They're gonna go with Syndra. I like it.
Ooh, Syndra is always something that does tickle my fancy, as a weird way to put it. Also want to give a few shout outs to those people who have followed us on Twitch. Thank you to Calcifer for the follow, and to S1B1C1 for the subscription, and also of course to our very own Arkwolf for cheering a massive total of 1 bit. Thank you very much.
Wow, Sejuani, that does surprise me, because I felt like a more aggressive jungler would have helped. Syndra is a great setup. She provides an E-stun with on top of usually an aggressive jungler can turn into an instant kill, but this time they're going to go with Sejuani, probably something safe, obviously. And Grim Legion, they look like they're just going to try to pick the same comp? No, okay. They're going to go with the Trundle.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. As much as, the Nunu did kind of work, Trundle just counters their Sejuani. So maybe just force No Fear to go for that Hail of Blades build.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty good right now. I think usually Sejuani tries to, he's a great mid lane ganker, but when Corki takes cleanse and when Trundle can potentially answer, it's going to be a hard lane. So they've kind of neutralized it, and they're going to take the Tristana. Ooh. Now this is exciting now. So Grim Legion's going to have their chance to show what Tristana's made of. And Yuumi, this is a pick that went through the entire first draft, questionably for both teams. And I still think she's an incredibly strong champion and can almost win lanes in her sleep. So, and with Sejuani paired up and Syndra stun on top, and this is turning into a pretty potent teamfight comp.
And there's still a lot of stuff available. I'm looking at the Ezreal to go with that Yuumi, the Xayah Rakan as well. Of course, the Tristana could be going in to the, could be actually played as an ADC. Still got the TF open. Sorry, TF won't get picked, of course. No. Syndra and Corki have been taken, but Aatrox as well is open. So a lot of stuff that can be picked for either side.
Yeah, I don't know if production confirmed that No Fear can actually ban here. I thought they lost their bans, but okay, no bans on phase 2, so that Nautilus ban is probably just not gonna come through, unfortunately. They might have forgotten, but yeah, right now they're banning out Caitlyn, so banning out potential 80 carries that could be issues. Sivir is probably the next one. That the Sivir Yuumi combo is almost gonna win any lane, no matter what Grim Legion takes. So that's probably something they got to look for. Now, they don't have any melees right now. They pick Yuumi and Syndra, so the only melee that can really come out is from top lane. I'm quite curious what they potentially gotta pick. They are gonna have counter pick this time if they pick AD here.
I would quite like to see maybe a Camille as well, because it is something that does work with the Sejuani, and that could go into the top lane quite nicely.
That would go nice. It could lock down the Corgi and the Tristana. That's the Tristana, obviously, because she has Rocket Jump and the back of Vayne.
Oh, yes! Vayne. Actually, one thing I want to bring up, Nalina, is one of the counters to Yuumi that I've seen anyway is the Poppy. Do you reckon we could see that come through?
Ah, yes, that's something that we've kind of experimented with. I think Poppy is actually pretty good here. You have Vayne, Yuumi, and Sejuani. That's actually not a bad pick. I think maybe the issue is they would lack some initiation. They could come. Whoa.
Guys, we've got a Garen!
Oh, never mind. Garen is Nautilus. That's kind of unfortunate. We kind of had to ruin the moment there. I was getting excited. The Garen, we saw it from G2 in a very unfortunate game for them, but it would have made Sword. No, it wouldn't have made any sense. The Vayne was just kind of Vi. Okay.
Oh, so Trundle top then?
Yeah. Huh. I think that could be very interesting. Trundle top, though, is very exploitable. Now, Nofia can pick literally any ranged kind of hero, like a Nika. Oh, wait a second.
Yorick? I mean,
I don't know if...
he's not ranged.
The problem now is that, well... So, they've now picked a split pusher, which is okay in a Trundle. I think, you know, Yorick can probably beat out Trundle in a side lane. The issue is, I don't know if the other four makes sense. They kind of want a siege now to create pressure for Yorick, but then they pick Vayne, who's probably the lowest range AD carry. They pick Sedge and Syndra, who do really well in kind of team fight scenarios, even Yuumi, and kind of like, oh, Yuumi is actually a good peeler, so she might fit, but it's kind of a weird comp because they kind of want a team fight, but they kind of don't. It's weird. I think it's just gonna be probably they're gonna look for a 4v4, try to get the Trundle out away from the Sejuani potentially, and then 4v4 team fight, get maybe on top of, maybe just try to kill the front line, the Vi and the Nautilus really quickly. Especially since this game they do have Yuumi, and one of the big things that Yuumi does is zone out backline. Especially if Nautilus goes in, gets the initiation, let's say on Vayne, and then the Yuumi just ults the Corki and Tristana. That is not the same follow-up that they would have had last game. Because last game, right, they had the front line to defend, but sometimes if the front line is trying to create the initiation and the backline just gets snared from the other side of the screen, they're not going to be able to provide the damage follow-up that the tanks need. So, and then on top of that, they have a Vayne. So their front line is not going to last very long. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see. I'm gonna be curious how the Yorick works. I think that's the one pick that could win them the game or lose them the game, because if he falls behind, I don't know what he's actually going to do in these team fights.
Once again, I'm kind of seeing, you know, a bit of a early game versus late game discrepancy. You've got the Vi, who is really strong early game. You've got the Tristana Nautilus, which is going to be much stronger than that Vayne Yuumi in the early game as well. Is this going to be, you know, a situation for Grim Legion again where they kind of just want to end quickly, or, you know, can they afford to let the game get to that late? Can they afford to let it go to late game?
They have Corki and Tristana, I think, are probably better in late game this game than probably, well, it's actually quite interesting because their carries are stronger in late game, but probably the tank line for the Sejuani and the Yorick, especially if the Yorick's able to split push and get the Trundle out of the team fights early on, they're probably going to have the better front line. So what are they looking for? They're probably going to try to probably survive the very early game, because I think no fear, this game, early game wise, before they get levels, could be a struggle. Once they get 6 though, I think that's Grim Legion's time to go. They have Trundle, they have Vile, Corki missile damage, of course, Nautilus ult. That's the times where so they're gonna stay a little bit patient, wait for their 6 timings, and then look to create the 5v5 team fights again if they can.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how this will develop. As we do have a little bit of time before we get to spectator delay, so we can't confirm any of some of the spells just yet. But I have an interesting factoid for you, Nalina, about Vayne.
Ooh,
Would you like to hear
okay.
it?
Yeah, I like to hear.
Vayne is the only champ. I might cut. This might turn out to be wrong, but I'm fairly certain of this. Vayne is the only champion on TFT that comes with a skin.
Ooh, let me think.
Every other champion is default.
Polar bear is the same. That could be actually true. I know Vayne comes in victorious form, right?
I believe it's Arclight Vayne.
Arclight. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Unfortunately, I don't know any of the 80 carry skins. Sorry, guys. But yeah, the coverage is true. Huh? I guess because Vayne's so useless in competitive play, they gotta put her somewhere in DFT. Gotta make her look good.
Still just a one-cost champion, though. However, we have made it into spectator delay, so let's take a look at these summoner spells then.
So we have Cleanse on Corki, very, very standard. We actually have, obviously, the standard TP from Vayne when you obviously have a Yuumi lane. That's going to help get some probably helpful like laning because they're going to be able to pressure out over time against the Tristana Nautilus. Unless the Tristana Nautilus probably has to look to go all in if they can in the lane. Because they're just gonna eventually get poked out by the Yuumi Vayne, especially with TP. They're probably gonna fall behind a little bit in pressure. We have it's gonna be a very interesting game. I think it's just gonna really come down to how these fights are gonna work. I'm curious because depending on who's fed and who's not fed, these team fights can go wildly in different directions. So it's going to be really exciting to watch. I'm really curious. I think Yuumi though. I don't want to say I love her, but I think she is a big difference maker this game that they didn't have last game. This is big disengage, and it's going to be probably extremely hard for Grim Legion to deal with.
Well, Yuumi is a really, really strong pick right now, and we're seeing a few same picks from what we saw in the last game. Most specifically, Reinik is on that Corki again. This time, though, Grim Legion are taking the Tristana. It's not going to be in the top lane. It's on the ADC role. But, you know, most kind of notably, it's when we were in the draft for game one, it kind of looked a bit haphazard almost. It looked spicy. It looked like it was going to be super entertaining. And don't get me wrong, we still have some fun champions, but it feels a bit more sensible, let's say.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense this game, especially. I kind of actually wish they played Tristana last game because that Tristana damage would have helped a lot trying to kill Tom Kench. But this game, though, they have kind of something similar where let's say they do the same thing again, right? Where the Vi comes towards bot. This time with Tristana damage, they're gonna just clean house at bot lane. The Vaynes and Yuumi is just gonna die instantly. So it's probably the direction that Hands of Blood's gonna look for, especially at a 6 timing with Nautilus all and Vial. I don't know how Vayne's really gonna escape from that, even with Yuumi and all that healing.
Yeah, and of course that Tristana bomb does a lot of damage. Sleepy Bulbous on the Nautilus can CC for days. And Vayne and Yuumi can both get obliterated quite quickly. However, we're going to be going into a short break, but we'll be right back with the start of Game 2 between No Fear eSports and Grim Legion eSports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of Game 2. If you haven't already, do subscribe on Twitch. All of the proceeds from the subscriptions go towards making the production even better. You get points for subscribing, tipping, and hosting the streams. And at the end of the season, whoever has the most points will get $10 in their PayPal account. You can also vote for who you think is going to win the series. I believe there's only about 3 minutes left, so get on board with doing that. But once again, we're getting an invade coming through from Grim Legion.
Whoa! Oof. That was a little unfortunately misplayed. I think you should have just flashed earlier and tried to get the kill, but just a little bit too late and kinda an oopsie from Sleepy.
Sleepy, did he just cast the Q and then flash afterwards?
Yeah, it's probably the other way around, unfortunately. You wanna flash first and then Q. Unfortunate, but yeah, that actually is gonna make maybe kill. They actually could have had a potential where maybe Nautilus could have flashed out of the vein, and that's probably not gonna be an option anymore. So we'll probably see some ganks. Maybe we're gonna see a 1v1.
Oh, Ricari versus 12-inch. They're just going to keep on smacking each other with big sticks, essentially. 12-inch seemingly coming out on top, but he's going to come back in. In fact, Ricari's getting really low. Ricari misses a flash, and 12-inch picks up the kill with the chomp, and first blood goes over to Grim Legion.
Yeah, that was very questionable. When you play Yorick, eventually the ghouls is gonna completely harass out the Trundle, but at level 1, the Trundle has Q, he's stealing your AD, he has Grasp of the Undying. I don't know why you take that trade. I think he should have probably just backed off and taken whatever
Was Sleepy Bulbasaur's flash contagious?
Maybe. I guess it was just contagious for bad flashes, because that is a very hard wall. I will say that's a hard. Oh, we're gonna see it.
In comes the rocket jump. Oh, the dredge line won't be able to find its mark. There's still going to be a lot of damage coming through. But if that dredge line had landed, that would have been a kill going over onto Ikaya for sure.
Yeah, getting caught by the classic bot lane mistake of missing the level 2 time. Make sure you see the minions and when it goes down, or else you're gonna get caught like that. So, well done to Grim Legion for exploiting that level timing. And now they're doing...
No Fear are still level 1 though, so they're just gonna lose a whole chunk of CS now.
Yeah, unfortunately Tristana, they probably could have maybe tried to freeze it if it wasn't Tristana. Unfortunately, she is Tristana.
We're going to be getting a gank in the top lane. Jazzy is here. He has the Arctic Assault available. He's going to dash in. He gets the CC, and that's going to be the kill going over onto Ricari.
Yeah, really smart gank there. Good timing. Able to kind of take a very efficient path. He kind of skipped Gromp to take his most favorable camps to get XP and farm, and getting off a nice timing on the top gank. And now we're going to see a scuttle fight. I think this is going to favor... Well, Syndra does have priority right now, but Trundle does as well, so... Who's going to rotate first?
To Jazzy, though.
Oh, yeah. Hands of Blood decides to back off there.
Re10 taking a little bit of damage as Ryanek looking to get off some damage. A couple more waters will be enough to do it. Valkyrie forward. The flash comes through from Re10 to ensure his survival, and he will be able to escape. As in the top lane, 12-inch getting really aggressive, finds the chomp under turret, but will back off as in the bot lane. Ikaya finds the kill, and this time they're able to get the play to work.
There's the Nautilus key finally landing onto the vein, getting that kill really quickly with the Tristana damage. And now this is kind of bad now, because remember No Fear's bot lane, right? Having lost pressure in that level 2 has costed them so much in XP. And just seeing a gank here. No mana.
He's here in the top lane, but he's not going to be able to go for it.
Yeah, help push the wave. Get that wave pushing so he can just back early and then maybe TP. No, TP's down, so they're probably just going to walk back to lane.
And Ricari will pick up that CS. He has a nice, comfortable 10 CS lead, but now the wave is pushing back into 12-inch, so we'll be able to even that up a little bit. Speaking of ganks, so Hands of Blood in this mid lane looking for a potential gank. As Re10 Gonna take a bit of damage. In
No
comes the
flash.
Valkyrie forward. As Hands of Blood coming in. Re-10 getting really
there we
low.
go.
Flash forward and picks up the kill.
Yeah, exploiting the no flash. We're gonna see Jazzy come, but really probably just gonna pick up the wave. And Hands of Blood, are you not gonna help your mid laner push the wave? Yes? No? He's thinking about it. Aw, no, he's kind of a selfish jungler. That's okay though. Oh! Oh, he hooked the Yumi. That could have been a kill, but when did he get out of there?
Will be able to escape though. Currently 3 kills versus 1 in favor of in favor of Grim Legion. And first streak's gonna be an Infernal, so this will be high priority.
Gonna see another. Huh. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be a hard now. Oh, we're gonna see a Sejuani gank over here.
Jazzy is here in the bot lane, is getting off those stacks. Arctic Assault is available, but in comes Fight. Jazzy looking to get the damage. Dredgeline will land the kill, going through. 2 kills for nothing. Double kill going over onto Ikaya, who will get the triple kill. And Grim Legion get even further ahead, and it's deja vu.
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of the most. Remember, the bot lane, they're so volatile. So we gotta see a replay here. They wanted to repair this bot lane, but unfortunately, in a 3v3, they just don't win. The Vayne and Yumi are just too far behind. They're too lack on damage right now. The Tristana is exploding. A 2-man explosive max charge. Exploded the Vayne of Sejuani, and now
The
she
Drake has been
kills, man.
started, and Re-10 getting really aggressive, looking to find the damage. Will burn the Unleashed power to pick up the kill. Drake will be secured. Flash from Hands of Blood to safety, and once again, Sleepy Bulbasaur not able to find that Dredgeline, which could have turned that around massively, but kudos regardless to Re-10 finding the kill there.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think.
Oh, 12-inch in the top lane. He's getting taken down by the Maiden. Ricari, will he be able to pick up the kill? Chomp cut, the ultimate is burned by 12-inch. Can he find a way out of this? Ricari forced to back off 12-inch somehow coming out. He has the flash available. The Chomp, one more auto attack will do it. Ricari so low, and 12-inch finds the kill. And that's playing with fire from both top laners, but 12-inch comes out on top now in the bot lane jungle. Jazzy might be looking to steal this. Red buff will be forced back as a rocket jump forward from Ikaya.
No.
He's going in, he's getting the damage, he finds the kill. So much damage coming through from Ikaya.
Yeah, he's a little bit strong, just a little bit. I think he's just gonna kill everybody right now. I think he's not jumping. Oh, wow, that's kind of surprising. I think he could have actually maybe killed the Sejuani if they went on there. He's extremely strong right now.
He has a BF. He has a BF sword and a cloak of agility over Nasuna.
It's almost
Oh no,
doubling the
CC,
Vayne.
there comes the depth charge.
gosh.
It's another kill. Oh, Dredgeline lands onto the Yumi.
Okay,
Couple of autos could have done it, but Sleepy Bulbasaur and Ikaya will back off. 6-0. Betas, that's a Valkyrie forward. Re-10 gets taken down by Rhynek, who's now 2-0 on that. Corky Dredgeline lands onto Nasuna. And just as I was saying Sleepy Bulbasaur missing those Dredgeline, he starts to find the ones that really matter.
I want to say, what a response for Grim Legion. After basically losing every single game right now in ABL, turning in this kind of dominance, especially after a really close game on, is really impressive to me. They're just playing
12-inch
so well.
with the Pillar of Ice, looking to get something onto Ricari. The Dark Procession comes up, but
Sejuani's coming.
Sejuani on her way. 12-inch looking for a potential turret dive. Takes a lot of damage, or maybe a bit too much. Glacial Prison secures and locks down 12-inch for the kill. And good stuff coming through from No Fear.
Yeah, just a little bit lacking, and maybe the jungle tracking. The Vi was not even close to where the Chundo was, so it's gonna be hard, and we might.
But he is close in the bot lane. He wants the one-on-one onto Nasuna. He doesn't have the assault and battery available. Will be forced to back off. But a nice attempt anyway.
Yeah, now Yumi has apparently abandoned the Vayne, going with her new friend Syndra because she just keeps dying over and over when she's in bot lane. So this is just Xavi just gonna deny the Vayne a little even more. The Tristana's gonna probably get this entire tower. Another Tristana getting a solo tower with platings. It's gonna be extremely strong, and this time he's got the front line, and he's gonna be able to team fight really well.
We'll have to see how this all picks up. We're going to be getting an engaged Sleepy Bulbasaur playing really aggressive, but Hands of Blood is here, looking to go in. Depth Charge will come through, gets the knock up. Assault and Battery is available, but Re10 is here, and Hands of Blood may have to back. We're going to be getting a long fight. Losune is here, picks up the kill. Re10, the Condemn comes against the wall. Ikai gets taken down. The Unleashed Power brings Ikai solo, but it's not going to be low enough. Missile Barrage will get a bit of poke. Nasuna, Re10, and ASAP Jazzy so low. Pillar of Ice comes through. Rhynek picks up the kill. Jazzy super low. Dredge Line comes through. Oh, the Triumph is enough to keep 12-inch line. Nasuna really low. The flash forward and the auto will get Rhynek the kill. He's under turret, won't get taken down, and that's going to be the inner turret falling as 2 turrets have fallen in the spot lane.
Yeah, this is turning ugly right now. They almost got the Tristana, but she just escaped, and then the Corki is here. They've used all their cooldowns now. Nofi has no chance. I don't like this turn. They've used all their cooldowns. They have no ultimates left. How are they gonna turn this around?
6-0 for Ikaya, 4-0 for Rhynek. We saw a fed Corki last game, but last game we only saw a strong Tristana, not a superly massive fed Infinity Edge at 12 minutes Tristana.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be needing Ignite this time to be able to get killed. I think jumping anyone at this point, even potentially the Sejuani, is gonna lead to a kill. It's extremely tough because it's kind of the same issue.
Oh, in comes 12-inch. He burns the Pillar of Ice. Flashback from Re10, and 12-inch will not follow up with a chase. The Mountain Drake has been secured. ASAP Jazzy going through a bit of a risky way back into his mid lane. Re10 is really low. Hands of Blood might be looking for the engage. He's going to go through onto Nosuna, who's able to use the Blast Cone to safety. Jazzy trying to defend turret, but he's not going to be able to, and the mid lane turret will fall. Depth Charge comes through. Re10 getting taken down really low. The focus is now Jazzy. He'll be able to use that Arctic Assault to safety. Missile Barrage will get a little bit of poke onto Re10, but yet another turret falls.
Yeah, and again, they're just having...
Oh, Re10! So much damage from the explosive charge. Final chapter will come through. I don't know if that's going to be able to do anything, as a turret will for Dredge Line just misses Mucho. As there comes the Glacial Prison onto Happiness. Will be able to get out though. The tenacity from Mercury Test is enough. Jazzy getting really low. Won't get taken down as Vi looking for the potential engage. Assault and Battery still available. There comes the jump. Oh, the cask as the explosive charge will blow. Re10 gets taken down low. Pillar of Ice. Unleashed Power is going to be a trade. The shutdown goal going over onto the Syndra, but that doesn't matter. Grim Legion don't care. They are on the inhibitor. 13 minutes and the inhibitor is getting taken down. This game is snowballing out of control as now Jazzy looking to go forward. Arctic Assault will come through. Hands of Blood will sacrifice himself, and 12-inch will have to attempt to run for his life. In comes the Prowling Projectile, will find the slow. 12-inch Happiness will be able to escape though with the Frozen Domain.
Yeah, and right now, when we talked earlier about these team fights, right, I thought it could have turned around with the Yumi, especially since they could kill the front line of Grim Legion very well. Well, unfortunately, the Vayne is only at 3.7k gold. So realistically, the one major factor that they had towards potentially winning the fights is kind of neutralized. So all these fights are really tough. As we could see, the Yumiya was actually doing a really good job zoning them, but they had no damage to follow up, especially onto the Vi and the Nautilus and the Trundle. They were not going to kill us.
Oh, in comes the package in the bot lane. Reinek looking to find the damage. 12 inches here as well. Ricari can't do anything. Reinek picks up the kill.
And if they were better positioned, maybe they could have gone for a 4v2 top, but just gotta let this top tower go for free, and it's kind of just another hard game. What is No Fear gonna do? They really need this Vayne, and so we're gonna see the freest the Rift Herald's probably getting taken here.
We may be seeing a dancing Rift Herald at the end of this game. Going back to what you were saying, Nalina, in regards to Nosuna, he only has 4.2k gold. So how does that compare to Ikaya? Ikaya has 8.7k gold. It doesn't matter if you have the team fight advantage if you're so far behind. 12-inch picks up the inhibitor turret. He's in a 1v2. Mucho is here as well. 12-inch happiness will get CC down by the final chapter. He gets taken down, but all the other members of Grim Legion are pushing in this top lane. They get an inner turret. There's one inhibitor turret remaining, and that inhibitor turret gets absolutely blown apart by Shelly. Will they look for the fight? Glacial Prison will come through onto Sleepy Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur gets blown up. Jazzy getting poked down by Ikaya. The ultimate will come through to buy a little bit of time. Ikaya will have the rocket jump. It's 10 seconds. They're looking to turn it. They find the damage. They pick up the kill onto Nosuna. Ricari being kited away. That's a good rocket jump over the wall. Meanwhile, Hands of Blood is taken down really low. Reinek with that kiting doing so much. Prowling projectile will land on the Hands of Blood, as will the Arcane Comet. Ricari picking up the kill, but the minions are pushing through into the base. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of No Fear, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you can see the team, like we talked about, the team fight potential, all the AoE slow from the Sejuani. I don't think we even got to see Yuumi all there, but Yumiya is on top of that. It's hard actually for the Tristana and Corki to consistently be able to get out damage without having to kite these AoE CC out. But again, it's hard because they're just having to chase so hard for these kills because their carries are lacking in damage. Syndra had to, I think, leave in the middle of the fight, and then you're left with what? Yuumi and York to do the damage? That's not reliable to try to get these big shutdowns, especially on the Tristana.
Almost a 3-item Tristana. Vayne, however, hasn't even got that Blade of the Ruin King yet, as another Drake will be secured by Grim Legion. They're looking for the 2-0. The further and further we get into this game, the more likely it's looking. Grim Legion with a flash. The depth charge will come through. Flash in response from Re10. However, here we go. Grim Legion might be looking for the end now. In comes the engage. The Arctic Assault comes through onto 12. They find the damage with the final chapter. 12. Sleepy Bulbasaur taking damage is going to get burnt down. Jazzy gets blown up. Glacial Prison comes through. Reinek and Hands of Blood are running. Ikaya has already been taken down. Hands of Blood will survive with the shield. Unleash Power comes through into Reinek. Reinek surviving for a little bit longer. Prowling Projectile will get a slow. It's an ace. And all of a sudden, No Fear might be looking like they're back in this.
MVP Gosu. You have to see a replay of his ultimate. That was the perfect Yuumi ultimate, snaring both the Tristana and the Corki as the Nautilus and Vi was going in. There was no damage follow-up. It was almost the perfect scenarios. We're only going to see the end of it now, unfortunate. But that was amazing. As we talk, they have that team fight as long as they can just prevent the carries from doing damage, as we saw in that fight. Basically the Vayne and Syndra was just free hitting onto the Vi and Nautilus. They both went down instantly, and without the front line, the Corki and Trist really can't do anything. So that was an insane fight, and that's a big...
Oh, Nosuna might be in a bit of a sticky situation. Pillar of Ice comes through. Condemn is available. But Nosuna, as you mentioned, he has no mana, but he does have a flash and will flash over the wall. And something I want to bring up is I've always called our fellow color caster Rebel Fox the Prophet, but I think I'm going to have to give that title to you because you mentioned in the draft phase how big that Yuumi ultimate was going to be if it can find the Tristana and the Corki, and that's exactly what it did. But now Grim Legion, they're looking to collapse again. The final chapter comes through. He's not going to be able to find anyone this time, and Grim Legion will back for now after getting some cooldowns.
This goal lead has gone to only 2k, by the way. That is a huge turnaround then. You can turn these fights around. The Syndra. Oh, you're gonna see it. Oh, here comes the engage.
The depth charge will come through, will find the knock-up, but no further engage.
Grim Legion
looking like they're struggling to find the play as Bulbasaur gets taken down. That's a glacial prison onto Rhynic. He gets taken down. Prowling projectile will find 12-inch happiness. Once again, no fear finding the fight. Ikaya running for his life. He has to be so careful. No sooner on the chase. Ikaya, can he find anything? No, he can't. He gets deleted. And it's 4 kills for nothing as No Fear will surely turn their attention to Baron.
This has been turned into a massive throw. Now they're just gonna get banned, and now their comp is online. They have such good champions to be able to scale up to the Vayne providing so much damage, the Yuumi providing so much team fight. Now Grim Legion's gonna have to find an answer. These are 2, maybe 3 fights now where they've just got really...
It's all going to come down to Hands of Blood. He's looking for the steal. The control wood has been taken down. Baron's on 2000 HP. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He finds the Baron. The engage comes in from Grim Legion. Vi gets taken down. Jazzy's super low. Rhynic finds the kill onto Jazzy. Luzuna gets taken. Rikeri really low. It's a double kill for Re10, but it's a 2 for 2. And Baron buff on 3 members of Grim Legion. Is this what they need? We're only 21 minutes in at a 44 kill game. Grim Legion with the 3v3. They have the Baron. Can they get some inhibitors? All 3 inhibitors are open and available for the taking. The first inhibitor gets taken down. The Unleashed Power, as you mentioned, is available for Re10. Final chapter will be up in a second. The first inhibitor turret has fallen. The second inhibitor won't be committed upon to from Grim Legion, and this is what Grim Legion needed, a stay of execution.
I think this actually came down to just chasing that Tristana back all the way back in that play. Wasted too much time, and if they could have just gone on the Baron, they probably could have gotten a free. The Tristana would have had the back, even though they wouldn't have gotten maybe the shutdown. That was a free Baron to them. Unfortunately, they just took too much time. The respawn timers came up, and Hands of Blood got the smite steal. That was a big saving grace for them. We're gonna see a dragon fight now.
Here we go for Dragon. The Mountain Drake is gonna get secured, but in comes the depth charge. No sooner gets taken down really low. He's almost out of this fight, trying his best to kite from a distance. Rikeri taking so much damage. The shutdown comes through. It's a 2 for nothing. No sooner gets taken down. Dredgeline onto Rhynic. Make that a quadra. Grim Legion, they find the fight when it looks so dire, and they turn their attention to the base. The troll TP comes in. The surrender comes through. Grim Legion with their first ABL victory.
And what a victory. What a way to potentially get that final playoff spot. BDM team that actually has a win under the belt, which means they can beat Polar Ace in this next match, who hasn't won a single game. They're into the playoffs and that final spot. So what a great turnaround. I think in that fight, I think it just came down to Re10 not being there at the beginning, not being able to provide the damage. And unfortunately, since Vayne was still 4k behind the Tristana, she wasn't providing enough damage to kill the Nautilus, to kill the front line before Tristana and Corki. I thought actually that was a good Yuumi ult, but I think the front line for them was also just too close, and they were just able to kill the Sejani and Yorick before they were able to kind of get anything off the back of it.
just to clarify how the standings currently sit, that was the final, pardon me, that was the final match for No Fear Esports. They now sit with 1 series win and 6 series losses. Grim Legion with 1 series win and 4 series losses. They have one more game of, sorry, they've got 2 more games available to them which can turn it around, and one of those games is against Polar Ace. So there's still a lot to play for. We could be seeing a 3-way tie for the final playoff spot, so a very, very interesting scenario still ahead of us. But going back to this game, if you had to pick one member, Nalina, who really stood out for you, who do you think it'd be?
Between both games, it's got to be Riney. The Corky, I think, just destroyed No Fear in both of these games. He did an incredible job providing the DPS. I will give credit, though, to the front line, to Hands of Blood, to 12-inch, to Sleepy for providing the setup that the team kind of needed for the carriers to basically carry the game and provide the damage. So, but I think it's got to be Rainy.
Yeah, and I do think I agree with you. It's just really big, but I also want to give a shout out to Hands of Blood, because in game 1 and game 2, I mean, I personally thought he was so important, because so many times he turned around those skirmishes, turning up just at the right moment to find the kill. In this game as well, finding that first blood in the top lane for 12-inch, and I think he did also a really good job. But I guess our MVP does then go to Reinek, so hopefully we can bring him in. So it turns out we might not be able to get Reinek. So in the case that we can't get him, is there a second MVP you'd want to give Nalina?
A second MVP. Who's probably the most consistent? I would probably say Sleepy for the. I think he was a huge contributor to kind of shutting down. He kind of made it, obviously. Well, I don't want to remind it, but a slight misplay early game. But other than that, his hooks were just game impacting, kill after kill onto the vein.
And I think we need to ask him about that the level 1 invade as well for game 2. I think that's a big talking point.
Hopefully he'll take it. Oh, we can't. Okay, so we can't.
So, okay,
right.
So we can get Reinek in. So
Reinek? I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly then. Sorry, Grim Legion. Right?
Is it Reinek? Okay. Hey.
Wait,
how
how's
you
it going,
doing?
guys?
Doing well. How are you? How are you feeling after that game?
Actually feeling really good. We drafted our comp and we played it to our strengths and we pulled through in both victories. It was a little bit of a cat and mouse game on some of them, but worked out pretty well.
Yes, indeed. Is it okay if I just start the question? No.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go for it.
Okay, so I noticed now you're kind of drafting these kind of team fight comps that it looks like, you know, these 5-mans that have really beefy front lines and then backline carries. Is that something that you think your team plays well the most and that's why you drafted it this way? Or is it maybe just how maybe the draft turned out to be maybe the power picks, especially like Corky?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's always better to start getting about front to back line. You know, better get some tanks in the front and have a nice DPS in the back. I feel like a lot of mid laners that I typically like to play, which are assassins and stuff like that, aren't too well. So I feel like control mages and, you know, other strong picks mid are really taking over right now, especially in competitive play, because the amount of DPS that just comes out from them in the safe zone is just absolutely ridiculous. And then having a nice front line is also going to help us out. We typically like to play for mid game scrambles and stuff like that, and I feel like that's where we push our lead.
Who would you say then, I'm curious, is your biggest vocal leader on that team? Who kind of brings that team together, especially since it's kind of been tough for you guys? So who's been kind of helping you guys, you know, chug along and continue motivating yourselves to a potentially playoff spot?
Honestly, I would like to say everyone on our team, because sometimes I would say myself, sometimes I would say our jungler, or AD carry, or support. We all kind of just push each other through and try not to tilt and just focus on our objective of the game and make sure everything pushes forward. But, you know, everyone else is communicating well, we're making decisive shot callings instead of hesitation calls, and I think it's really starting to pay off now.
Yeah, and I think that's really starting to show.
Yeah, finally.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask as well is, in that last game, you guys had such a massive lead. 13 minutes in, and you got your first inhibitor. You got the Rift Herald. You broke everything open. Then all of a sudden, you went for that fight in bot lane. It didn't work out. You went in again, and it didn't work out. What was, the feeling going on there when everything started to look like it was just going south?
I mean, it was looking bad, but we still just looked at our objectives and we still had a lot more over them. So we still just try to focus down, even though we knew the gold lead was leveling out. We also knew that they probably started feeling good after that, so we had to obviously play reactive to their aggressive plays that they were going to take, and then force more so around that. My only say on that is we went bot lane again. It's like insanity. It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So thank God, an objective came out to make us have to do something different.
Yeah. Then let me ask you, right? Because we're coming down, obviously, to the final stretch, and I think you still have to play Polar Ace. I'm not sure when you guys play, but that is going to be a big game because I think a victory there guarantees that.
Yeah, we actually have 2 more games left now. We have to play against Polar Ace, which I believe we have a game tomorrow against them.
Oh,
and then
okay.
we have a game against Team Fish Tacos. I think we're going to be trying scheduling for Thursday, as far as I know.
Okay, so obviously the biggest game probably will be Polar Ace because it'll guarantee the playoff, and it'll probably feel good that you guys can then maybe start looking forward to kind of seeing what you guys can do in a best of 5 scenario. So what is your team gonna do? How are you gonna look to probably prepare mentally, especially for that game?
Well, I think our mentals definitely helped out from this last game. We were feeling bummed out. We haven't really had a stable team since the beginning. I think this is like our 5th team that we've had show or something like that, something ridiculous. We had our support drop. We've had 2 supports drop, actually. Our top laner drop, our jungler. It was a fiasco, but we're finally starting to pull stuff together, and I'm glad it's paying off. No, personally, I feel like all we needed was a little bit of a win, and then we can pursue more.
Yeah, and a team with momentum is probably the scariest team of all, and I'm going to be really excited to see and maybe potentially coach against you guys if you guys get that playoff spot.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, great stuff. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you, and congrats on your win as well.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
All right. Well, that's about it from us today over on ABL 1. However, we still got a game going on in ABL 2 as Polar Ace are facing off against Team Fish Tacos, and that's currently sitting at 1-1. So do go ahead and check that out. Of course, you've got your games tomorrow. Team Fish Tacos taking on First Blood Marauders, and we've also got Polar Ace taking on Grim Legion, the match that we were just talking about, as well as Dynasty Esports versus White Lotus later on in the evening. So do tune in for all of that. However, I have been your play-by-play caster, Milky Cereal. I have been joined by the fantastic Gnarly Gnar. Grim Legion took the 2-0 clean sweep against No Fear, and they're looking really, really strong. We'll have to see what they can do, though, tomorrow against Polar Ace. Thank you guys for watching, and see you again next time.